Back live here on The Right Stand. Tensions between Iran and the United States have once again entered a dangerous phase marked by military signaling, sharp rhetoric and the ever-present risk of miscalculation. Iran is navigating significant domestic strain, including protests and economic hardship, while facing sustained international isolation. The US, for its part, has hardened its posture towards Tehran, citing concerns over Iran's nuclear program, regional proxy activity and internal repression. Donald Trump has said recently, and I quote, "Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Time is running out to make a deal to avert military action." Now, these dynamics have reinforced mutual suspicion at a moment when both sides are politically constrained at home and strategically wary abroad. Washington's military posture has been one of its clearest signals. The deployment of carrier strike groups, enhanced air defenses and additional naval assets to the Middle East is officially framed as a deterrent designed to prevent Iranian attacks on US forces or allies and to secure key waterways such as the Strait of Hormuz to block Iran's oil exports. The moment that happens, Iran is going to really struggle because there's going to be no money. USS Abraham Lincoln strike group is in the Arabian Sea. USS McFall and USS Mitchell are in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. F-15E Strike Eagle fighters have been deployed at the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Patriot missiles and THAAD systems have been deployed in multiple allied bases. And for Iran, however, these deployments are perceived as coercive pressure intended to force concessions under the shadow of military force. Tehran has responded in kind, conducting naval exercises, showcasing missile capabilities and placing its forces on heightened alert while emphasizing that any attack on Iran would not remain limited or contained. Iranian leaders, including the supreme leadership, have warned that a US or Israeli strike would ignite a regional war, drawing in allies and proxy forces across the Middle East. The United States has countered with warnings that it retains military options should diplomacy fail. Even as senior officials stress that Washington does not seek war. This combination of threats and reassurances has created an environment where deterrence is meant to stabilize the situation, but could just as well easily amplify the risk of misreading intentions. And for now, tension and diplomacy coexist very uneasily in this region. War is not inevitable, but neither is peace. What is the road ahead? Let's discuss with our guests. This is on a day when Trump has also announced that Bharat is going to buy oil from Venezuela and not from Iran going forward. So he is doing the journalist's job, the spokesperson's job for Bharat and its government more than Bharatiya government itself, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra. While Awad is with us and Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey. Namaste, Jai Hind to everybody. Ambassador Saab, how do you see this? Or was Trump just buying time before his military assets could encircle Iran? If Iran can't sell oil and the Strait of Hormuz is blocked for exports, Iran is going to struggle, especially the Ayatollah regime.
Well, if the Strait of Hormuz is blocked for exports, not only Iran, but the rest of the Gulf states would also suffer enormously. In fact, more than America, it is probably Iran which will enforce the blockage of Strait of Hormuz. The other thing is, Trump saying that, there has to be a nuclear restriction on Iran and it has to accept it. Trump was the one who scrapped that deal. Otherwise, there was a deal between USA and Iran on the nuclear issue. So Trump started it all. Iranians find it difficult to accept Trump's word, as the rest of the world also does find some problems with Trump's words, because he rakes up the tempo whenever there is some domestic difficulty. In this case, the new revelations from Epstein. Then he has his issues with regard to ICE actions. So he has some domestic problems. Europe, for example, has told him off on Greenland, and he's backed off. So Trump has his own problems, especially with Congress, which does not want him to go off on another war. Venezuela was bad enough, but Iran would be very unpredictable. So Trump is looking for an excuse where Iran ups the ante by starting some attack on one of the ships or destroyers or whatever America has all around Iran. But Iran is unlikely to do so because it knows that it will also get hit hard. So it's a game of brinkmanship. Like sumo wrestlers who are circling each other.
Yeah.
America and Iran at the moment are circling each other.
Yeah.
But Trump is more likely to blunder into it for one reason or the other. He's just looking for an excuse.
Well, in this case, what happens is the Venezuelan formula is being applied to Iran, but will it work with Iran and the Khamenei regime and this region? That's the larger question. Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, before I bring in Vailabad on this, the other part is that Iran also is struggling. It also doesn't have money. Its people are also facing the brunt of these sanctions and this entire isolation. General Pandey.
Yeah, so firstly, I think I'll just try to endorse, but a little bit, my piece is slightly different. Trump has no stomach for wars, right? Let's be clear, he may have great amount of a bluster and everything, but he's basically a businessman, a dealer and a deal breaker. Wherever somebody stands face off to him, he backs off and he will make other statements and all, right? So the latest statement which is coming about is conversation on nuclear deal, no nuclear and all, and all the time he pumped up and pushed himself to a corner by saying that if the protesters come onto the street, we are going to come about. He's moved the carrier strike group from all the way from to this place, from the PACOM to CENTCOM for exploitation in the Sindhu. The bottom line is that one can't be sure that what is going to be intending, but he should not falter because he doesn't want to go into war. In fact, Midnight Hammer, if you recall, and we used to talk about it, was a compulsion under Benjamin Netanyahu, who forced him to join hands so that...
Well, he's just tweeted, General
Israelis
Pandey, I'm interrupting you. He's just tweeted the same thing. He's just said we do have very big ships moving in that direction. He's just said, POTUS has said on Iran, we do have a very big, powerful ships heading in that direction, as you know, but I hope they negotiate something that is acceptable. This has just been tweeted about 3 or 4 minutes ago, and while he's getting on board, he's spoken on Air Force One. He's dressed in a tuxedo and a bow tie and etc. But the fact is that this is what he's saying. So clearly he is telling the Iranians, you got to listen to me. You got to agree to a deal that I like, or I will not deter from using force. There is also explosions at the Bandar Abbas port that's been reported. Suddenly we may also see both overt covert actors who are present on Iran, in and around Iran, suddenly acting again. Is that possible, General Pandey?
Yeah, it is possible because Israel has carried out the strike during the Operation Land Rise quite effectively from inside. But as we discussed in the previous conversation, that this time has been available with with the Iranian regime to actually possibly neutralize those assets. But there are a couple of things happening militarily. There was a rush when there was a perception that about 2 weeks back, the strikes were likely to have gone through. And that is the time IRGC mobilized, opening up its radar locations, moving out its ballistic missile systems and all. So these are the systems which you carry out in terms of deception to lock in, find what is available, where it is located, so that you create a data bank to carry out a strike. But the challenge which comes out is that, yes, while their primary targets are going to be IRGC military bases, ballistic missile systems, storage sites, all those places. But will it result into a comprehensive destruction well in time? Because even in last time with Israelis' best effort, there were systems or ballistic missiles landing on Israel. And this time, Khamenei has very clearly pointed out it is going to be a regional war. So please understand that in Iraq, in other places in the region, there are enough elements which are supporters of Khamenei, including in America. If you see the protest which is pro-Khamenei protest which has happened on the streets of Europe and America, there are things which are happening. But these are all, I think, bargaining parlays which are happening. In case he wanted, he had tweeted about 3 weeks back also when Lincoln was moving all the way, it is transiting, that they are coming into the location to carry out choke. I think the window for application of force is closing. I had anticipated that in case they wanted to carry out certain degree of strikes, should have happened by 31st of Jan or latest in this first week. Because after this first week, the pressures which are on
There's
Trump will, yeah. And then it will
I'm
not
just
happen.
saying there's still 6 more days to the first week. So,
Yeah.
so we don't know. And it just looks like they just want to home it in, zero it in, and whip up the frenzy and keep the IRGC on tenterhooks. The moment the IRGC is designated a terrorist organization, it gives them a valid reason to go ahead and strike even without being, provoked. So, while Awad, how do you see this happening? Do you believe that the Khamenei's time is now, it's like a countdown, that they will not be able to withstand it this time? Or do you believe that Iran has perhaps another ace up its sleeve?
Well, I believe in the second part of your question, which is an answer as well. The point here is very clear. America is not only going to attack Iran. America is attacking the whole global world. It is already wanted to block the Strait of Hormuz, because any attack on Iran this time, it will be devastated the global economy and oil transferring from that part of the world. 40% of the oil goes from the Strait of Hormuz. Just imagine if the United States attack and Iran will retaliate, and you have Iran have mined all the water in the Strait of Hormuz, that it will take the American, even if they bring the regime down, the government of Iran down, it will take 2 years to clear all the mining from that side. So do you imagine what will happen to the Indian economy, what will happen to the Southeast Asian region, who rely much on the oil from this part of the world? So the war in Iran is not meant between United States and to satisfy Israel. It is more to do with the American, make America great again.
But should they be worried about what Iran will do, or should they be worried about what can happen if Iran is not brought to heel in this region? If there's got to be peace, stability, and globally one of the rogue nations that needs to be actually tethered is Iran. That's the perception. I'm not saying the right or wrong.
Let me ask you in this.
Let me just give me 30 seconds. I'll come back to you on this question. Trump has spoken. I just want to play that out, and then I'll come back to you.
I mean, I certainly can't tell you that, but we do have very big, powerful ships heading in that direction, as you know. I can't tell you. But I hope they negotiate something that's acceptable.
Give us an update on where your thinking is right now with Iran, if you have made a final decision on what you want to do.
I mean, I certainly can't tell you that, but we do have very big, powerful ships heading in that direction, as you know. I can't tell you. But I hope.
Okay, so yes, Wailawat. So that's exactly what he said. I just hope that they accept a deal, or they agree to something that is acceptable. That's what he has said. Yes, Wailawat, you're saying.
Yes, thank you I'm sorry for the interruption. The point I'm trying to raise here is very simple. The United States have creating havoc in this region, and all the countries in the region. None of the country in the region, by the way, wanted a regional war, except United States and Israel. Even the American applied the maximum economic pressure in Iran. Now they're applying the maximum, equipment have brought to this part of the world. For what? Is it for Iran? He said a month ago, you remember that Iran nuclear has been totally destroyed. Their ballistic missile have been destroyed because the Israelis are feeding the American that Iran is reviving its nuclear program. And that's why Donald Trump is coming to war in the region. So there is no question. Give me one time in history of Iran for the last 200 years that they have attacked any country except the United States, who brought more than 80 countries down and intervened in every country.
Well,
so I'm not
the argument. No, I agree. I totally agree. But Iran is not directly attacked. But the Hezbollah, the Hamas, the Houthis, there are so many other entities who have all been funded, aided, backed by them, and billions of dollars have been routed in that direction. Also, Russia's Ukraine conflict, Iran has bankrolled the kamikaze drones. All of these issues are there. Iran has been a troublemaker for a while in the eyes of the West, and especially America and the NATO forces.
That's the American
and that's a thought process. Now, people may agree, disagree, but whoever has the strength, who has got the ability to do it, it's not about right or wrong. Trump can do it, and he's doing it. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Have to wind up. We've run out of time. But yes, through Monday, we will keep our eyes very closely trained on what's happening in the Middle East. Thank you for watching. Namaste.